Do you miss locker room access? Oh my God.
Hell yeah.
So much. That's where you do your work. I mean, if I had locker room access, I could have gone up to George Kittle already and be like, yo, why'd you try to ruin my career on Twitter? What was that about? We could have hashed it out. Now I'm probably never going to have a face-to-face interaction with George Kittle again. Who knows? I mean, I don't even know. He could be totally mad at me or not. Who knows? So you get players' phone numbers. You get to know them. You can have
Eric Armstead too.
Oh, dude, that's my buddy, dude. I could have gone to Dante Pettis today. We might have been able to work it out. Or he could have said, hey, in your face, Grant. Either way.
I think Kittle hates me more than you because of what I said about Halo being an overrated game. So he would have been like,
it is an overrated game.
Get this other guy away from me. Grant, I'd rather talk to you instead. This guy got a tattoo and he loves that game.
He talks about a decent game, but get a tattoo? Like, come on, bro.
It's his body, man. He can do whatever he wants. I mean, when I done it, no, but I mean, shoot, it is an overrated game, but he would have hated me more than that. But yeah, like I told you earlier with Greenlaw, I love talking with Greenlaw. He was the one I had the most like communication with than any other person. So I was like, well, shoot, at this point now he's gonna forget who I was. He's gonna forget all the times where I used to, give him some slack about how San Jose State beat Arkansas. So like he hates it every time I bring that up. But yes, for your point, George Kittle, is he gonna be mad at you?
No, but the overall point is that like it's the one place where a writer and an athlete can have an interaction without the team like listening in, being like, "What are you guys talking about? What are you guys doing?" And then now, like every time you want to talk to a player, it's got to be on Zoom in a group meeting with the PR director deciding who gets to talk and who gets to have a follow-up question. So it sucks. And locker room access is really what made journalism good. I mean, sports journalism. It's where you learn and get to know people. Now, the PR department is just the cops in the middle, being like, "Okay, that's enough. That's enough. That's enough. Don't answer that question. You don't get, like, I can't get the guy's number. I can't." A lot of times, the best thing you do in a group interview in the locker room, the guy will finish talking, and then all the reporters will walk away, and you linger.
Then you're there,
and then the interview keeps going, and you get to know the guy. I miss that, man. It's gonna be whack having to cover a team for so far.
Man, easily. I used to love picking these guys' brains from an analytical standpoint, specifically with like Mosley or Bourne, especially in the playoffs. Like, hey, what did you see on this one? What were you thinking about when you were bailing out and you were thinking about maybe like I just said hella stuff to him during that time, and it was just like okay, like all right, and he was like, wow, this guy actually can speak, because that was pretty much my position in college. So I just love talking like corners. So that was that's just fun to pick those guys' brains and just seeing like, okay, that way I can understand it and actually give feedback better to the people who are listening to us now and write it so I'm not saying something wrong, because I like hearing from, okay, this is what the technique he's talking about. I'm not saying, oh, you did this technique was wrong, or so on and so forth.
Also, Richard Sherman, he would sit at his locker every day and make himself available for like 45 minutes. And it's like, if you want to talk to me, I'm here. We can talk about your favorite movie. We can talk about Compton. We can talk about the Bay, where I'm from, where you're from. We can talk about Stanford. We can talk about football. He's the most open player ever. And it was really helpful. I mean, no matter what you wrote about Richard Sherman that week, go up to him and be like, Richard, I have some questions about the upcoming opponent or Pro Football Focus or the nature of Cover 3. And he's like, yeah, let's talk. He's a superstar, and he'll sit with you forever. He'll do one after another after another. I mean, someone just said they don't miss y'all. Maybe they don't, but a lot of them understand the professional relationship between writers and players, and it can be mutually beneficial. I think it was beneficial for Sherman too, because I think he's planning a second career for when he's done. And
I think some of them miss us.
Yeah, I mean, I think they do. Miss us
because that's our chance to get like prop up some of like those other lesser known players up. For a chance, and that's why some of them are more like, yeah, I'm willing to talk. Yes. The same thing with the assistant coaches, because that's their chance to get their names out there and further than just NFL circles.
Yeah, and what I've noticed is it's not always a contentious relationship between writers and players. I mean, players are very proud of what they do, and they think it's cool that there are professionals who chronicle their career. I mean, in a sense, I'm glorifying. It's like, kings and battles from back in the day and the bards who wrote them down in sonnet form. Like, we're part of history too. And when they retire and they're in their 40s and we're in our 40s, we'll meet each other and be like, you know what? I remember you when you were great, and vice versa, So I don't think it's that contentious of a relationship. And I do think it kind of stinks that another thing, the organization controls everything. I think sometimes these players like to have their own voice, their own way to get their own story out there and not have, like, for example, a player like Matt Breida. Niners weren't promoting him. They were moving him out the door. It's not, it's sometimes players appreciate when they can talk to a reporter off the record without, the PR director being like, well, what are you talking to Matt Breida about? No, we don't need to talk about this. It's like, okay. Anyway, we can get back to talk about players. In your 40s, you'll still be writing. Yeah, but they won't be playing anymore. That's the thing.